Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Hakodash. Yahweh is the truly powerful name with a real ignorant because God. Yahushua is the truly powerful name with a real ignorant because Jesus. Ba'Shem in the name of Hakodash, Holy Spirit. Literally translated Spirit Holy. I'm going to get double honors to my elders and apostles, great millstone, rule of teacher, I'm being grace, I'm touching brothers. And peace and blessed to the full lack with will I'm part of the number. I'm the brother Quadar from the GMA branch Chicago. Come back another video. And come back another history video is going to be about the fall of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Renaissance, which the Renaissance means rebirth. Okay, and it was all because of prophecy, man. All right, you got the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople. All right, because after the Emperor Diocletian, he split Rome into two, East and West. Because Rome, their army was spread too thin. It was too many people trying. It was too many, barbaric tribes trying to invade. And really, Jake was taking over, man. Constantine, the Byzantine Empire from Constantine the First to Constantine the 11th. It changed from the Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire because Jake took over. Yeah, man, I'm getting to it. Lord willing, is edifying. It says, the Byzantine Empire is one of the most tragically understudied topic in modern American historical curriculum. Indeed, not only did Byzantium achieve greater feats of art and science than Rome, they safeguarded and advanced for early 1,500 years the ancient knowledge of the Greek and Romans combined the exposure to Islam and Far Eastern, India, and China learning and wisdom. All right, because, it was following Christianity, even though Constantine was following Mithraism. I made a video on that. He was a fraud. Really just used it for political gain and power. But, you had a new religion, which Islam was coming out, which Jake made that. They made that Roman Empire. They made Islam, and Ishmael took it around with it. I made countless number of videos on Islam, exposing that shit. How people made that. And, it was really to get Jerusalem back. That's why they created Islam. It says, learning and wisdom in the Byzantine Empire was at one point the height of knowledge on earth. Evidence suggests that European Renaissance was brought about an influx of Greek scholars from 1200 to 1450. To support this reason, the three questions should be answered. How, when, and why did the rise and fall of Byzantine Empire occur? Because Esau had to get in power. It's called the Renaissance. That deadly wound was healed. He should be loosed the little season. And that little season is still on. It's closing, man, real fast. How much knowledge was exchanged between the East and West leading up to the fall? How was the Renaissance influenced by influx of Byzantine refugees? In which the West got conquered first, because Rome was getting weaker and weaker. In 284 AD, Roman Emperor Diocletian split the Roman Empire, like I said, into two parts, leading to the creation of Western and Eastern Roman empires. Economic inequality meant that eventually the Eastern Roman Empire became the seat of power. In 330 AD, Emperor Constantine moved the capital to his new city in Byzantine, Constantinople. And Constantinople is a city called Istanbul, Turkey now, because the Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror, which is a Turkish, he was an Edomite, they called it the Ottoman Turk. Those were Edomites. That's why over there in Turkey, majority of them are Edomites. Over there in Turkey, they look like Ishmael and Elam. Some Ishmael and Elam over there, but majority of them are Edomites. I'm going to keep reading. The continual financial burden of propping up Rome, combined with continuous barbarian attacks and fighting, will lead to the eventual fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD. The Eastern Roman Empire will continue as Byzantine Empire for nearly 1,000 more years. And as you look in this map right here, Rome basically conquered, what they would call the quote-unquote known world, and their army was spread super thin, man, lack of food, they conquered such a big area, that communication was off. Some lands will be upwards because they have no little food and etc. All right, this talking about when the East and West were together before the Emperor Diocletian split it. Byzantium held great influence for many years. There were many attempts to restore the empire of ancient Rome. None was successful, which they conquered a little bit back up to half of Rome right there, half of it. But they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it all because it was prophecy that they had to fall. None was more successful than Emperor Justinian the First, who his general Belisarius managed to take back the whole of Italy, and several other important states. I said half Slovakia, the whole of Italy, Slovakia. But the face of the Mediterranean had changed. Holding an empire that size was too hard to maintain. Like I said earlier, that's the spirit of 555. However, despite setbacks, the Byzantine Empire remained a major regional power until mid-1200s. Decline of empire, the Fourth Crusade was beginning of the end of Byzantium civil religious unrest between Greeks and Latins. Catholic or Western and Eastern Europeans during the early 1200s had erupted into a bloody riots. Matters were further exacerbated by lack of clear leadership. As Byzantine elected their emperors, crusaders on their way to the Middle East was able to take advantage of the situation. 1204 AD took the city. The resulting massacre, considered unprecedented even in the Middle Ages, which cast tremendous room between East and West for years to come, and permanently weakened Byzantium. Proxy empires were established in Nicaea and Trebizond with no clear leaders. The empire was effectively dead. Eventually, in 1261, Emperor Michael V III was able to reclaim the city, but the damage had already been done. The majority of the final days of the empire were spent in civil war, led by Sultan Mehmed II. And this guy is a bad man. Hey, Esau, get down, man. Not giving Esau any honor at all, because he the damn devil. But, hey, they tried to conquer Constantinople, I believe, 22 times or 23 times before, do the prophecy. The Lord allowed Mehmed to conquer Constantinople, which he was an Ottoman Turk. He was an Edomite, following Islam. Okay. Which his fathers and the rest of his forefathers, the kings in the past, tried to conquer Constantinople, but they all failed. You could watch that on Netflix, called The Ottoman Empire. Okay. Led by Sultan Mehmed II, the Ottoman Turks steadily advanced through the remnant of the once mighty Byzantine Empire, drained of wealth and power, outnumbered 10-1. All right, which they built that giant cannon. I forgot what it's called. But I'm keep reading. The last Roman Emperor, Constantine the 11th, made his stand at Constantinople. His pleas for aid largely spurned by the rest of Europe. He was asking the Catholic Church for help, but I believe they came too late, or they never came at all. On May 29th, 1453, that's the year they fell. And that was the start of the Renaissance, man. Along with 1492, when the last stronghold of the Moors in Spain, Granada, Spain, fell, man. Under they got conquered by, what's the name? King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. You had the Black Death kill 2/3 of our people. And the Lord allowed Esau to come back into power, man. The bubonic plague. Because like the brothers, like the apostles say, to understand the mystery, you must understand history, man. If you don't understand the history, you're not going to understand prophecy, man. Like Apostle Ariana said, you must understand history to understand prophecy. Let's see, 1453 AD, after 2 months of siege and Theodosian walls were breached and Constantinople fell, stories tell of Constantine the second donning Roman armor and leading his last few men in one final charge. And they was facing inflation, of course. So what they did, like how America, what they would do was print more money, which caused inflation. What Rome would do, when everybody comes into their temple, they will clip a coin. They will clip a chip off their money, their coins, all right, and put it in a basket. When they fill up, they'll melt it and create more coins, man. Which causes inflation, of course. But nevertheless, That's off topic, man. Um, Shit, hey, Esau's devil, man. Uh, it says in the 1200s, the might of Byzantium had begun to decline, and immigrants began to flee to Europe. This included many scholars who would become occulted, accumulated knowledge with them. Okay, after the sack of Constantinople by the Crusaders, it was clear to many Greeks that the empire would not recover. Wave after wave of Byzantines would immigrate to the Christian West, many to Italy due to its close proximity. Byzantine refugees found fertile ground in Italy. The 1200s were a time of relative Italian stability. Furthermore, Western Europeans were beginning to rediscover Greek Roman writing. There was a renewed interest in philosophy, and cathedrals and castles began to spring up. Because a lot of people are, because a lot of people, build all those stuff. Salaki, hold on. My wife. All right, Salakia. Where was I? It says the spark was already in Italy, but Byzantium scholars brought the knowledge to light. The rebirth, all right, advancing every discipline appeared, which is the rebirth. Renaissance means the rebirth, man. And that sign he making with his hand, that's a sign. That's the same sign. The Baphomet makes, man. Yeah, man. But it was all due to prophecy, man. What's that? Revelation 6. Revelation. I think it's Revelation 20. Revelation 20 is 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right. Hey, and that angel is Yahushua. All right. And who was that dragon? That old serpent, Esau Edom. And bound him 1,000 years. Okay. Meaning, hey, Esau, they fell, man. Rome fell for 1,000 years. All right. He was in the bottom. All right. Got chased to the mountains and etc. Verse 3, and cast him to the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal in that bottomless pit is Europe, and set a shield and shut him, and set a seal upon him, that he shall deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season, which is the Renaissance. Okay. So yeah, but Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to y'all by Shema Shah, by Shema Kalkadash. Shalom in the Bible ball.